Hey, Frank Z here. So, this is the message for Kilolog 69. So, this is what you have now. These are all 12 volt. These are your 12 volt batteries. So, you got 4 banks of 48 volts. Each battery is 12 volts and series connected. And then you have a positive going to your positive and a negative. So, these are all paralleled from the outsides. Now, you're trying to balance this group. You're trying to balance this group when only the outside, the 48 volts will be balanced, not the 12 volt sections. And you're doing that. So you got 4 coming from your positive, 4 coming from your negative, and then this is every single one in here is series connected. It's got its own series connection, its own series connection. This is what I recommend. So this is 4 batteries in parallel to equal 12 volts. And then you series connect each of the 12 volt groups that you've series connected. And you have one wire coming from the positive to the bus, one wire coming from the negative to your bus, or multiple wires going from there to there to even out the current. Say you're doing 400 amps, you might want to have more wires than you need, obviously. But if you're only pulling 100 amps, a 2-aught or plus cable would be fine. So I hope this kind of helps a little bit, because what happens here in this setup, this group will be out of balance, this group will be out of balance, this group will be out of balance. So you're trying to balance 16 batteries when you're only balancing the 48 volts, not the 12 volts. Here, these 4 batteries will balance themselves because they're in parallel. So if you give this battery 14 volts, all these batteries will be 14 volts. But you are still going to have the problems you have with one group here that you will with this whole group here. Instead of having 4 groups of problems, you have one group of problems, where these 4 batteries will be dead even, 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 but from this battery to this battery will be out of balance. Same from this one to this one won't be the same. This one to this one won't be the same, but these will all be the same this way. So you're going to need to balance each group to each other, where this one, you're going to have to balance all 4 of these to each other. You're going to have to balance all 4 of these to each other. And to this one, you're going to have to balance all 4 of these. You're going to have balancing issues within every single group. Here, you're only going to have balancing issues between here and here, here and here and here and here, which you get one balancer and you connect it to each row, like the balancer going off grid showed, or if you watch that video that I sent you, it's got the same balancer, and it's only one balancer working on 44 batteries, where you're going to need a balancer for each group instead of having one balancer for the entire group. It's very hard for me to explain, but it worked for me, and it's much easier, much more cost effective. So I hope you can understand this drawing. All these batteries here, all the positives are connected and the negatives are connected to equal 178 times 4 amp hours. Let's say a little less than 800 will be this at 12 volts. Where here you got 178 amp hours at 12 volts. 178 at 12 volts, 178 at 12 volts, 178 at 12 volts. So then you got a 48 volt. I hope you can understand this. It's very hard for me to explain, but this way is a better way to connect. And you kind of need to mix the low ones with the high ones so they all even out. You don't want to have one whole group of low batteries and a group of high batteries and a group that's off. You want to try and high, low, and then they'll all become even in this group. Same with this. And then you only have to try and get these two groups to balance instead of all this to balance. I really hope you understand this. I don't know how to explain it any other way. You still have the same capacity in your whole setup. It's just this is easier to maintain than this. Anyways, thanks a lot. Maybe someone else can help me. Going off grid, you can maybe help explain this a little better if you can, or anyone who understands this. It's the same with lithium batteries. You don't take, say you're trying to make 100 P4S pack, you don't make 100 4S packs. You put 100 batteries in parallel, 100 groups of batteries in parallel, and then you parallel each 100 groups. Hard to explain. You have to kind of understand this to know what's really going on here. And yeah, so what you've done is you've done it this way. It's fine. You're going to get the similar results. It's just none of your batteries are going to be even compared to at least 4 in each group will be even. So you're only trying to really balance 4 batteries instead of trying to balance 16 batteries. I really hope you understand. Thanks a lot.